The president, Iran is not just Iran. We have this sort of new axis of evil of Iran, China, Russia, Venezuela. And what the president seems to be doing, to me anyway, is isolating them from each other and then sort of picking them off one by one, forcing them into a more conciliatory posture vis-a-vis the United States. And honestly, what could be more America first than that? China was getting 10% of its oil from Venezuela at sort of bargain basement rates, and the other 10% from Iran. So it's lost 20% of its oil supply. So for China now, every barrel it has to consider, okay, are we going to use that for our expansionist foreign policy goals, or do we have to really focus on protecting our domestic aims, especially at a time when it is heading into an economic crisis? Now that choice is being forced on China. It's in a much weaker position than it was 3 months ago. And I think when you think about Taiwan, one of the most important and most difficult and treacherous foreign policy questions for the United States, to me, it seems like China is much less likely now to do something there just because it's much less likely to be able to easily afford it. I mean, that would take unbelievable amounts of energy to pull off. So the president is really playing 4D chess here, and I think it's really starting to pay off. I think an Iran that is cooperating with the United States, that gives up on any nuclear enrichment, anything to do with that, which the president has said he will not accept any uranium enrichment from the Iranians, that has then sanctions relief from the United States. I mean, why would they then go to China? They only went to China because we had the sanctions on them. So the president is creating governments that are, it's not full-fledged Bush-era regime change. I mean, you can look at Dulce Rodriguez and see he didn't do that in Venezuela. They're playing a much more mature, limited game, no boots on the ground. Honestly, I just don't see how Iran can even afford to keep this up for the 4 weeks the president has said it's going to take. And I think the same thing with Russia and China. It's amazing that neither Russia nor China has lifted a finger to help Iran. You had a phone call between the Chinese and Sergei Lavrov, where they all, you know, they rattled the saber. They said, this is terrible, but they haven't done anything. Nobody can afford it, and they can't afford to take on this president.